Rachel Rylie is saving the season. She's literally saving the season, and we can thank her for that. Lauren can't stand her. Like, she is annoying to me. Like, that fake voice, and then how she moves in this game. You're not a super fan, because if you were a super fan, you wouldn't be scared to make moves. Like, she is literally scared to breathe in this game. She is annoying, but I'm going to get on her later on. But if you're new here, hit subscribe. Do that right now. We're on the road to 15K. Thumbs up the video, drop the comments down below, subscribe if you're new, and like I just stated, Rachel saved the episode. This was the first 90-minute episode this season that actually was worth it, and it was all thanks to Rachel. But let's get into it. Alright, so we get back where we left off, which was post-nominations, and Rachel, she thinks that Mickey and Morgan are running the game, and they stand in her way. That's why she put them up. Vince, obviously, like, that's a decoy, really. She knows that Morgan and Mickey are her true targets, even though Vince is not a bad target if one of them two really comes off the block. But Vince, he's not surprised, and neither is Morgan. Mickey thinks that Rachel is intimidated by her because everybody's pretty much swarming around her instead of the fakeness that is Rachel. Rachel's not fake. Rachel actually is upfront. Like, Rachel gonna keep the shit real regardless of how you feel and regardless of how the game actually goes. Rachel gonna keep it real. The one that's fake is Mickey. Mickey is fake, but we'll get to it. But Rachel is now, did I say Rachel? I meant Mickey. Mickey is crying now to Will, Ashley, and Ava, stating that she didn't care. She doesn't care about Rachel. And she says, like, I was trying to be sweet to her. I was trying to be uplifting. And I even prayed for Rachel to win. Pretty much trying to make it seem like she was in Rachel's corner, knowing that the three people she's talking to know she wasn't. And Ava was clocking in her confessional, or in her DR, that she's lying. Because, like, you didn't want Rachel to win. But Mickey then states that she, talking about Rachel is the same person that she was 16 years ago. 2 kids and a husband doesn't make you a better person. And Will's face is looking like, because he's a man that actually has a wife and 2 kids. I think 2 kids. So it's like, what are you talking about? You can tell Mickey and Mickey thinks she running shit. Like, she really thinks she running shit. But Ashley's not happy that Mickey's on the block because that's a number for her, even though she knows that Mickey is coming for Rachel. And I'm like, okay, so make that make sense. I mean, I understand Ashley's perspective because she's thinking about her game. But to be upset with Rachel for doing something that would benefit her game, because as you just stated, Mickey's coming for her, why would she not put her on the block? Like, that was crazy to me. But Will then states that we all know that Mickey was gonna put Rachel on the block, so Rachel just got you first. Like, that's literally what it is. So why are you upset? Which is exactly what I was sitting there thinking. Mickey's trying to act like it's something that just happened out of the blue. Everybody on the show and everybody at home knows that you were coming for Rachel. Like, let's make it make sense. Mickey's sitting there trying to act delusional, and that's the thing with Mickey. Mickey could be a good villain if she wasn't delusional. That's in my opinion. But Morgan and Rachel, they're in the HOH room. And Rachel then tells her that she knows that Morgan, like, she was Morgan's target. And Morgan, I said Rachel. Did I say Rachel and Ashley? It's Morgan and Rachel in the HOH room. But Morgan copped to the fact that she definitely was one of Rachel's targets. But she stated that she would have put her up, but she wouldn't have wanted her to go home. So Rachel in her DR is like, yeah, I feel validated in doing what I did because, I mean, I knew she was going to do it. And I feel like this group of newbies are literally crazy. And they are. They are. But Rachel then tells her that's why the decision, did she tell her that? Yeah, I think she told her that. She said that's why the decision was made, because she knew that she would be on the block. So I made that decision by putting you up because I knew you would put me up. I'm just returning the favor, basically. But Morgan claims that she admitted to it because she's not afraid to fight in this game. Whatever. Whatever floats her boat. But Keanu and Rachel, they're pretty much talking now, and he's telling her how savage her speech was. They are officially working together, and he's happy that he finally has a break from the block. But he then states, too, that this is the week where the game changes, which I think so, too. I really do. But Kelly's fake ass, I knew I didn't like her. I don't know if y'all have seen it on Twitter today. She made a comment stating that she wanted Rachel to be in the jury house, and she wants Rachel to be in the jury house alone on her anniversary. I'm like, you're just a nasty person. And it's just like, I knew she wasn't shit. And people like to take up for people like her because she's typically the outsider. But she ain't shit. Like, I knew she wasn't shit from day one. Y'all know I never really favored Kelly. And my intuition's never really wrong. But she proved it. But she joins them, and Rachel ends up asking Kelly, like, was my speech as savage as he stated it was? But Kelly is essentially happy that she wasn't put on the block, and she's trying to cautiously work towards trusting Rachel. And I'm like, you're trying to work towards trusting her, yet you did things that made her not trust you. Like, it don't make sense. But Kelly then goes to tell Lauren that Rachel wants to make a big move. So I'm like, why are you telling her? But Lauren then states that her fear is that she will go up if somebody comes down, because she's not as close to Rachel. So Kelly then pretty much tells her, like, everybody will touch the block at some point. Not necessarily, but I mean, I guess. But Mickey and Morgan, they're having a conversation, and Mickey states that she was emotional being next to her and Vince, but now she's fine, but Rachel showed her cards. And it's like, you showed your cards too? Like, Rachel knew what you were doing, and you knew what Rachel was eventually gonna do. So, like, what do you mean showed her cards? Like, but Mickey then states that her focus is winning the veto to make sure that it's not her and Morgan sitting at the end of the day, at the end of the week. And now that Rachel drew the line in the sand, Rachel now has a reason to be scared of me. Rachel didn't draw the line in the sand first. You did that when you nominated your own damn ally. When you nominated Jimmy, somebody that she was working with, who Rachel was working with as well, and then you nominated him and then targeted him and then got him evicted. You drew that line in the sand. Rachel just retaliated. Like, what? Mickey, that's that shit I'm talking about, that delusional shit. Like, if she would have stood in the fact that she did what she did because she wanted to do that, I wouldn't root for her, but honestly, it would make me respect her more. But Morgan's telling Will about her social game, and Will, like I told y'all, Will is me. I literally see myself in Will, like the older version of myself. The way he acts, I feel like that's literally how I'm going to be when I get to his age. Because the way he acts is the way I do. Him sitting here zoning out as Morgan's sitting here trying to tell him about her social game and whatever's going on. And then they show a montage of everybody else trying to talk to him. And he's zoning out. And he stays like 70% of the time, I'm not paying attention to what the fuck they talking about. That would be me. That would be me. But he then stays like he just be envisioning himself on a tropical beach, counting his money to $750K with his chocolate drop. Will is hilarious. But Rachel and Ashley, they're in the HOH room. And then Ashley, she's pretty much stating that Rachel disappointed her in nominating Mickey because now she's stuck in the middle. I'm like, Rachel did what was good for Rachel's game. Rachel's not playing for you, Ashley. And you can tell Ashley wants Rachel to play for her, play the game for her, but Rachel's not here to do what's best for Ashley. Rachel is here to do what's best for Rachel so she can bring that money home to her family. Like, you can't get upset for her doing that, but I mean, I understand why Ashley feels that way. But she then states that she wants Rachel to believe that her and Mickey, their beef can be fixed, even though she knows that Mickey is still gumming for Rachel. Which, I mean, I get it, because you want somebody to do your dirty work. But my thing with Ashley, though, which I think is stupid, you're not Mickey's number 1, 2, or maybe you're the 3. But you are not her top choice, so I don't get why you have so much stock in her. I feel like your number 1 and number 2 is Will and Rachel. They would take you to the end over. They would take you to the end first before Mickey would, because I feel like Will would take Ashley first, and I feel like Rachel honestly would have possibly taken Ashley first, but I feel like she might take Ava to the end first. But Ashley's talking about that. But Ashley then tells her that she hopes that she wins the veto and can take Mickey down because she's like a shield, which I get that, but no, it's stupid. Why would she take her down when she knows she's actively coming for her? Like, that's stupid. But Rachel then states like Ashley should be happy. She's stating this in her DR. Ashley should be happy that she's not on my targets list. Like, you're now showing me where your loyalties lie. And it's clear Mickey's sitting here controlling the newbies. Rachel's not stupid. Rachel assesses everything. I'm super glad that she's learned from each experience that she's had on Big Brother, and she's applying them on this season. Like, Rachel is working. She's working. She in there. This is not a vacation for Rachel. Rachel's in here to get the job done, and I that's why I root for her. But Ashley's sitting there walking around with toilet paper attached to the back of her pants. I saw it on the feeds when it happened earlier this week. That shit was funny. They started laughing. But Rylie and Katherine have a scene. Let's talk about him forcing himself on her over the last week or two. It's very concerning. Like, it's kind of creepy. It's like, okay, maybe producers need to step in type shit. Like, that is weird. Katherine needs to get a restraining order. He's pretty much telling her like, I don't feel like you like me. Okay, well, if you feel that way, then why are you forcing yourself on her? Like, why are you doing that? And then he's talking about how she don't like him, and I feel like this is a summer thing for her. Okay, and if it is, it is. Like, move on. He's a fucking weirdo. Like I told you, he's a creep. I want him to go home. There's a lot of people I want to go home, but I really want him to go home because I don't feel like he's safe. Something about him gives off like he one of them exes that'll try and take you out. That's why I stated I feel like Katherine needs to get a restraining order. But Mickey and Rachel, they're in the HOH room, and Mickey says that obviously my existence threatened Rachel, but I just want to do some ass kissing at this point to make sure that she feels like I trust her. Your existence is not threatening her. Like, she just is not stupid enough to leave you in the game knowing that you're coming for her. Like, Rachel's really not that worried about you, but she knows that you would come for her. So why not get the one person that you know for sure is going to come for you? But Rachel then, especially when you have a base of people here that she knows will actually vouch for you. So why the fuck would she not do that? But Rachel wants to make sure that she and Mickey aren't just basically targeting each other and allowing everybody else to skate through to the end, like what happened on season 12. She clocked it. Because who was Rachel going against? Rachel was going against them in the whole house. But the brigade, Hayden, Lane, Enzo, Matt got sent home like a couple weeks into jury, the beginning of jury, but the brigade got to the end. As we all know, Hayden, Lane, and Enzo got to the final three, so she doesn't want that to repeat again. So Mickey claims that if she gets off the block, she's not going to target Rachel. We all know that's bullshit. She turns these waterworks on, and Rachel's like, I mean, there's a chance, she's stating this to us, that there's a chance that she would use it if she feels like she can trust her and strike a deal with her to further herself in the game. Don't do it, Rachel. But Mickey then states that she wouldn't go to war. Talking about Rachel, I wouldn't go to war with me either if I was her. Because if I get off the block, I'm going to put her back on the block. Shut up. Shut up. But Rachel and Keanu, they have another conversation in the HOH room. And they're discussing moving forward in the game together. And they start talking about how, like, we can run the rest of this game together. And I feel like these two as allies, it just makes sense. And this is what I stated earlier in the season. If I had beef with somebody in the game, if we can get to a commonality to where it would make sense for us to just literally work together, because nobody would expect us to work together, that is what I would do. And this is very much the same situation that's happening right here. And they're like, I mean, we might not see eye to eye on everything, but they see the value in actually working together, because they both know they can both win competitions. Nobody's really going to suspect them working together. They can look out for each other and have each other's back. So he pretty much states that he values her opinion and he can learn from one of the best players in the game, which is the truth. Like, she's already won. You'd be stupid not to. And that's what he stated. His brain is finally working. Because Keanu has moments where you like, okay, he might be thinking about doing something right, and then he fucks it up, but then he comes back on track. Like, it seems like his brain is working right now. But he then tells her that he would much rather be the two of them in the final two chairs. She wants to make sure that she's his number one in the game. And he's like, I mean, I won't betray you, basically. But he locks in the final two with her. Rachel tells us, I'm going to work with him for right now because he is a shield. But I would be stupid as fuck to take him to the final two, because he would beat me in the competitions and he would beat me. Like, Rachel's not dumb. But she's doing what she needs to do right now to make sure that she's good. But Vince, he's in there asking Lauren if she would play if he gets the house guest choice. And she like, I want to play, but I don't know if I would. I don't know what I would do, because I don't want to expose our final two, but I want to win to keep myself safe. Lauren, you're stupid, because it's not about just exposing your final two. If that's somebody that has your back in the game, why would you leave them on the block? It doesn't matter about exposing a final two. You've been playing this game 6 weeks now. People can probably insinuate and put two and two together based off of who you actually spend so much time with. Whether it's a final two or not, we can tell that you have allies in this game, people that you prefer working with. So why would you not get your number off the block? The one person that's on the block that you know would actually vote your way, you would leave on the block. But we'll get to her in a minute. But Vince is shocked that she's not even trying to use the veto. Like, it's crazy. But it's time to pick the veto players. Obviously, we know the nominees and Rachel, the HOH, they're going to be competing. Will and Lauren get chosen to compete. So Will and Mickey, they're having a conversation, and she's like, I'm not scared. I just need to get myself off the block. Will tells her he has her back regardless, and he lets us know that he's working with Rachel, but he wants to go hard to win the veto and take down Mickey, because he's working with her even more closely and will have to pretty much deal with the repercussions from Rachel after. And I'm like, I don't like that, but I get what he's doing, which is basically the same thing that I just said with Lauren. Like, Mickey would not vote against Will, and he wants to have as many numbers going his way in the game, which would make sense. So I see why he would even consider it, honestly, even though I wouldn't, but okay. But Vince and Morgan, they start talking about how good the veto picks were. Like, essentially everybody that got picked basically would use it. Everybody playing would use it except for Rachel. Vince tells her, I'm not as confident as you are. Like, Lauren, I don't think she would use the veto. And Morgan's like, I just don't get her. Like, I don't get her. I don't either, but I do believe, and honestly, I feel like a lot of the reason as to why she don't get Lauren is because you know that Zach prefers Lauren over you. That's really what it is. But we get to the veto, and the veto is one of the staples, one of my favorites, OTEV. We all know how that works, so I don't even have to explain it. We'll get through the rounds. The first round, Will got eliminated. He beat Morgan up to the stoop, but he got the wrong answer. She got the right answer. So he gets eliminated in the first round. Vince gets eliminated in the second round. Before we get into the third round, you got Mickey up there trying to force herself into getting Lauren mid-game to use she's like, are you going to use the veto if you win? And she's like, I mean, if you're not going to do it, let one of us win. Why the fuck would she do that? Like, why would she do that? And Lauren pretty much states in her DR, like, I mean, if I throw the veto, I could possibly be the one to go up. Like, why the fuck would I do that? Like, Mickey swears she got people controlled. Well, we get to the third round, which is the final round, because it came down to Rachel versus Mickey as the last two to get their the little tags up there. Rachel beat Mickey up there, so Mickey's automatically eliminated. But Rachel and Morgan guessed incorrectly. Lauren guessed correctly, so Lauren wins the veto. Rachel, Morgan, and Mickey all get eliminated at the same time. Lauren has won the veto. The most pathetic person to win, but we'll get to it. But Rachel and Keanu, hold on, let me take a breather. So Rachel and Keanu, they're up there talking, and Rachel's like, I'm going to follow Lauren around. I'm going to make sure that I'm breaking every conversation that she has up because I know they're going to be trying to get her to use that veto. And Keanu's like, so who would you put up if she does? And Rachel says, that's the point. I don't know. Like, I don't know. So Morgan's over there working on Lauren outside, trying to connect off of their connection with Zach. And Rachel had me hot. This whole segment had me hollering. Rachel is sitting over there in the lawn chairs. As they're talking, she sees that they're talking. Rachel starts asking questions. Morgan answers the question. They start trying to go back to talk. Rachel keeps coming in asking stupid questions that don't make no sense. And it's clear as day, Rachel trying to avoid allowing them to actually talk game. So they show another scene where Lauren's going into the room to tell Mickey that she's leaning towards doing this and doing that. She couldn't even get it out because Rachel came in there and broke that door up. Rachel had me hollering, yo. I love me some Rachel. She is good TV. She always has been. But Vince, he's now working on Lauren. And he's kind of driving home the point that she needs to use the veto because they're working together, which duh. But she states that she wants to take him off, but Rachel would get angry at me. Like, she would get angry at me. Play the fucking game or go the fuck home, Lauren. Nobody wants to see that shit. That whole scary shit. And it's like the way she, like I told you, that voice is fake. Like, sitting there, oh yeah, the way she talks, and I'm 22. You're a grown woman. You're 22. You're a grown old woman. You're a grown woman. You're not a kid. Lose the voice. She tries to, what's the word? Infantilize. She tries to make herself out to be some type of kid and making people baby her. Like, grow the fuck up. Like, you're playing a game and you claim that you're a super fan. You know what this game is. This game is made off being sneaky and snaking people and making cutthroat moves. How are you a super fan of the show and you get a chance to do it and then you sit here and act like a punk? She punked out the entire rest of the episode. But Lauren and Rachel, they're in the HOH room. And she's asking Rachel how she's feeling. And Rachel's like, I mean, it's your veto. I can assume that you and Vince are close. I'm probably thinking that you're probably going to use it. And she's like, yes, I mean, I would consider using it. But it's your HOH, basically. And Rachel's like, I mean, I would never tell you what to do. Rachel's playing like the reverse psychology. She's trying to make Lauren feel like she's in Lauren's camp to where Lauren won't use it, as opposed to going like, you need to don't use that fucking veto. So Rachel's like, I would never tell you to do it. I would never tell you what to do with it. And she tells us that she's working to stroke her ego to get her to not use it. But Lauren pretty much states like, Rylie and Katherine are also my people that I'm close to too. So if I do use it, I would hope that she wouldn't put them up. Why the fuck would Rachel not do that? So if you were to use the veto that she doesn't want you to use, why would you? And then first of all, why would you, even though that's clear, we all know that you're close to Rylie and Katherine, but why would you tell somebody that you're not working with who you're actually preferring to work with in the game? She already knows you're working with Vince. She already knows you're working with Rylie and Katherine. But for you to literally confirm that, it's poor game. It's poor game move. It's a terrible game move. And you being a super fan, you should know better than to do that. But then why would you expect for her not to put somebody up that you're close with if you use the veto to fuck with her nominations that she already wants in place going into the eviction? Like, Lauren is stupid. But Lauren and Morgan, they having a conversation now, and Morgan's pretty much telling Lauren that Zach didn't use his power and essentially sacrificed himself so that Morgan and Lauren, even though it was really Morgan, well, no, it was really both. Actually, it was Morgan and Lauren. Well, it was really Lauren, but he tried to back it up, making it seem like it was Morgan. But regardless, she's trying to work that angle to guilt trip Lauren into using the veto because he basically sacrificed himself for them. Lauren knows what she's doing, and she pretty much tells her like the only logical thing to do if I was to use it is to use it on Vince and hope that the renomination is a bigger threat than you and Mickey. Morgan starts to fake waterwork tears that did not, she ain't have nothing on her face, not a wet, nothing wet, nothing wet. But Lauren, she then goes to tell Rachel that she's now considering using the veto on Vince. And she's like, what do you think? Why does it matter what she thinks? If you want to use it, use it. And you don't have to tell her that. That's the whole point. You don't have to tell Rachel that. But you can see all over Rachel's face. Rachel is shook. She's pissed. But she's trying to hold it together. And she's like, I mean, I wish you would have told me that earlier because I haven't even given anybody a chance to even plead their case or at least talk to me as to why I shouldn't even put them up. So Rachel's pissed, obviously. And Lauren then tells us, like, Rachel said that she would have respected, but her energy is giving that is different, but it's a little bit intimidating, and she kind of scares me, and I don't want to be on her bad side, so get the fuck, go home. She was pissing me off, yo. But Morgan and Vince, they're talking about how Lauren is considering using the veto on them, and they're in the storage room. Lauren comes in talking about, oh, I feel so bad. And Morgan's like, it's a game. Like, don't let her try and gaslight you. If you want to use the shit, use it. Which is true. But Rachel comes in there and breaks the shit up. Breaks it up. And she's like, what's going on? They all looking stupid. And of course they tell her like dummies. You don't have to fucking tell her. What is with these newbies? Just because she came in and broke up the conversation that y'all have going on, you don't have to tell her what y'all was talking about. But of course, they go in there and start telling her, oh, we're just chatting about her using the veto. Why the fuck are y'all telling her that? But Rachel then tells Lauren, you're a big girl. Basically, grow up. You don't have to let these people force you into doing something that you don't want to do, even though it's smart for her to use it to a certain degree. But she's like, I mean, you don't need to have other people telling you what to do. So Lauren walks out. And Rachel's in there with Vince and Morgan. She's like, how classy, guys. And then walks out. And Vince, of course, as well as Morgan, they're offended by it. And Vince is like, I'm just trying to get her to use, my friend, to use the veto on me. Which, I mean, you're not wrong for wanting her to do that. But Rachel tells him, like, you can't be pushing her, a 22-year-old, to use the veto on you. And you sitting here making a 22-year-old cry. And I'm like, Rachel, stop. But I see what Rachel's doing, though. Rachel's trying to guilt trip them. Rachel's got a tactic with what she's doing. And I'm glad she's doing what she's doing because she made the episode extremely entertaining. But Morgan, she states if anybody's making Lauren get on the verge of tears, it's Rachel. And I said, yeah, and I'm glad she is because it's time for Lauren to grow up. But Rachel's telling Ashley that Lauren's going to use the veto and I don't know who I'm going to renom. And Ashley's like, so who do you think will be less impactful? Rachel's like, I mean, if I'm going to renominate somebody at this point, she going to fucking do it. I'm going to cause some chaos. I'm going to turn this house upside down. I'm going to blow this shit up. I said, do it. Do it. Now put Rylie on the block. Hold that. Lauren, she comes up to Rachel 30 minutes before the veto meeting. And she hasn't told Rachel still what had happened. So she's now telling her that she's leaning towards using it again. And Rachel's sick of her at this point. She tells her, don't use it. I don't want you to use it. And she's like, if you really want to work with me going forward, now's the time to show that you actually want to work with me. AKA, don't use the veto. So Lauren is sitting there stating, like, if I take Vince down, I'm guaranteeing his safety. And then we can come together after that. Why? Why would Vince suddenly come off the block and want to go work with Rachel, the one who's been targeting him, and just put him on the block? Why would he do that, Lauren? Like, be for real. But Rachel says, go do your makeup at this point. So Lauren goes running down, not to do her makeup, but to go to Vince. She's like, I don't know if I'm going to use. I said, get out of here. Get out of here. But Lauren then tells her that Rachel's coming. I can't be seen with you. So she goes in the bathroom where the rest of the girls are in there. And she's like, I'm freaking out because I don't know what to do. Why can't I not make decisions? Yeah, why can't you? But she then goes, because Rachel comes downstairs and they were playing this like twisted, evil, wicked, like witch type music. Who Rachel low-key was looking like a witch. I ain't gonna lie to you. But she comes downstairs. Lauren goes running back upstairs. Someone's, oh my God. Rachel follows her back upstairs and Lauren tells her, I think I'm going to use it. So Rachel does exactly what I would have did. Rachel says that I'm putting up Rylie. She says if Lauren uses it, she gonna have Riley's blood on her hands. So basically, like, if you do this, I'm gonna put up one of your other allies. So if you don't want to listen to me, I'm gonna force you to lose somebody else. Basically, and that's what I would have done. But Lauren sits there and apologizes, and Rachel's like, so you're making a choice now that could literally jeopardize your friends. And Lauren's sitting there thinking that she's bluffing. I said, do you not know Rachel Rylie? Like, she's the only person in this game that's actually playing the game to win. But we get to the veto meeting, and Lauren thinks that Rachel's bluffing. She takes Vince off the block, and Rachel nominates Rylie and looks over there at Lauren, and she was like, I'm sorry, like, Lauren chose Vince. Like, it's her fault, Rylie. It's not mine. I love Rachel. Rachel saved this episode. Saved it. But who do y'all want to go home tomorrow? I would be happy with anybody leaving. Truthfully, I don't know who I want to leave more, Rylie, Mickey, or Morgan. Either way, I'm going to be excited. For my own personal reasons, Rylie, I would like him to go home because I think he's a creep. I don't want to watch him on the show. I feel like it could get a little bit concerning the longer he stays in that house with Katherine. Mickey, I would love for her to go home because she thinks she got everything wrapped up. Morgan's just annoying as fuck. So, like, regardless, it's a win-win for me. So, we're going to see. Do y'all think jury starts tomorrow? I think it probably is because this will be, the 6th eviction? And then they wrapping the season early. I think it probably will be. If it's not this week, it'll be next week. But I'll see y'all tomorrow. Thumbs up the video if you haven't already. Drop the comment, share the video, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see y'all then. I almost knocked my iPad off. Peace.